Hey, it's James with Certified Exit Planners doing another build to sell calculator. How do you compare? So I get a lot of comments and questions about how I'm doing against other people or peers. And a lot of times you see people posting on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, et cetera, and they're always talking about how good their numbers are. I'd say less than 10% of the time it's as good as they portray. So we have real data based on actual tax returns on the back end through databases as well as industry reports and all that. So if you actually want to understand how you compare against similarly sized companies in your industry, then we built this for you. It's meant to be interactive, and so this is for business owners who want to just see how they compare. So you can plug in your revenue, your number of employees, your revenue per employee benchmark. You could try to pull some reports on your own, or we're happy to help you if you want. But this number is a real number here for an HVAC company. So we did, we plugged in some expense and profitability benchmarks, and it essentially shows, your numbers here and the industry and your variance, and are you on track, or should you watch it, or you should act now to improve things. So the most common issues are obviously revenue's revenue. You're going to compare to other people in the same revenue bucket, but the controllable things are always the cost of goods sold through, purchasing power and working with your suppliers, et cetera. And then obviously, depending on your occupancy and rent and other payroll, and that's going to impact your profit pretty quickly. So a lot of times you can make better decisions, focusing on these four key areas here. And so you can kind of talk about, your business here, what your industry averages and your variance. And then we have some metrics down here for transactions that are helpful with regard to the average down payment for an SBA. That's 65%. So that basically means, if you sold your company, you get about 65% at close. That number climbs quite a bit if you have a well-prepared company, and it jumps to about 80 to 90 and sometimes higher than that, depending on how organized your company is. And so your average day to sell is, around 317. For us, we're closer to 88% at close and 255. So we shorten it by about 2 months through preparation and just helping clients, business owners essentially prepare. So, if you want to see how you compare and want to pull a report, then, comment below, send us a DM, or text me at my private cell phone number 704-336-9005, and we can go through a how do you compare build to sell calculator. So a great way to interact and figure out how you're doing, basically, so you can make better decisions moving forward.